Hi everybody, welcome to the episode 3 of the Ayshea podcast. Today I have with me one of our members. This is Kayla.
Hi.
Let us speak. This is Kayla. Kayla is a member of Galway Strength and Performance, but also does the Galway Powerlifting and Strongwoman Club. So the reason I have Kayla here today is because she has an interesting sports background. So basically, without further ado, Kayla, thank you for allowing me to interview and talk to you. And hopefully the sound quality will be better this time around. We did this a week ago. It should have been out a week ago, but the sound quality was really shit. But the interview was very good, so I'm hoping this will go well as well. So, Kayla, why did you join GSP?
So about 2 years ago, I play roller derby, first off. So it's a full contact sport, I played on roller skates, and I used to play with a league in Galway, and they weren't very competitive, and I wanted to up my game, and I transferred to Limerick, which would have been a much more competitive team.
Okay.
And I played with them for about 10 months to a year, and I was getting my ass kicked, on track in training, on track for games, and I was just getting so sick and tired of it. And Dave, my other half, they come to the gym.
Dave Fitzpatrick for the powerlifting people here.
He competes in powerlifting, and he was like, look, just talk to Maddie and tell him that you're looking for strength and conditioning training, and see what he says. So I messaged the page, and he's like, yeah, come on down and do the beginner powerlifting program. So I did that, and then he's like, we'll do the intermediate powerlifting program. I did that, and we just added in little bits of extra conditioning work after each session, and within about 4 months there was a huge difference. It was mental, absolutely crazy. So that's why I joined, essentially.
Okay. So I want to go back on the bit about roller derby. So there's a lot of niche sports out there, and for women in sport, trying to get women in sport generally is difficult enough. And there's a lot of Main Street sport out there that we see an awful lot of stuff come up in the social media feeds and out on media. So roller derby, that's a niche sport. It's on the outlines. So can you explain to me, I don't know, how does roller derby actually work?
So it's played on quad roller skates on a flat track.
So what's a quad roller skate?
So it's like the ones you kind of have in roller discos and that kind of stuff.
So
like
four wheels.
Yeah. And it's played on like a flat track. So anywhere like a sports court is mostly what we play on. You have 2 teams, and you can have up to 15 people per team. And then the game is broken up. It's an hour. It's broken up into 2 30-minute periods, which are then broken up into 2-minute jams. So essentially, you're only ever on track for a maximum of 2 minutes before the next lineup goes out. And so for those lineups, it's 5 people. It's 4 blockers and a jammer. So the jammer's job is to score points. There's no ball. They are essentially the ball in the sport. So their job is to score points, and they have to pass the opposing team's blockers legally and inbounds and everything to gain their point. But it's full contact. Like, that's not like punch each other in the face. It's all like hip checks and shoulder checks.
Full contact. That's no fun. That's really no fun.
There's a really big rule book for it.
You can't punch anyone. This is bad.
It's still very physical though, very physical. And
I've seen the bruises. The bruises.
They're there. Most of them are self-inflicted by falling over onto myself. but yeah, that's it. And then it's you skater and the oval track to score points, and it's the team with the most points at the end of the game wins. You're saying about blockers and jammers. Would you be particularly good at one role, so you train that position more, or is it better to be an all-rounder? Generally, the higher level you get, the more specific your role is. So if you're playing like low level or mixed games or whatever, you'll kind of do whatever you want and have a bit of everything. But if you're playing high level games, you have your own role. So you'll be a specific blocker or you'll be a specific jammer, and it's kind of what you're good at. They kind of go through training, and people are like, oh, you're really fast and agile, like you can get through things, so you're going to be a jammer. If you're really sturdy and steady and communicate really well, you're going to be a blocker. So it builds on your own personal strengths.
Okay, so you started with us. Can you give an example of how that really transferred, that strength and condition that you were doing?
I started here in February, and then I had my first big game that year with Limerick in June. And that was against a team called Rainy City, and it was over in Manchester, and they were a pretty high level team. They were ranked above us, and we went in kind of wanting just to play a high level game and have loads of fun. And it was then when I noticed the huge impact of, I felt more comfortable on track. I felt stronger. I felt like more in control of everything that was going on. And we didn't win, but we didn't lose by a whole lot either. But at the end of games, they give out these awards. They're MVP awards, and the other team pick a blocker, a jammer, and an MVP from your team. And I was awarded as best blocker, and that was the first award I ever got with Limerick. And it was a huge deal.
We have it up on the trophy shelf.
That some other team recognised, like, that I'd been working really hard, and that whatever I was doing off track was translating on track, and that was like a huge turning point. Massive turning point.
Something really big also happened last year with regards to roller derby.
Yes.
You'd like to tell us that?
Towards the end of the year, there was an announcement that went up that the men's Team Ireland men's roller derby were letting women try out for their team this year. Last year they just had men, but in the MRDA they have a gender rule where any gender can try out. So that was in December, and I tried out.
Forward thinking, that is.
So in December I tried out for the men's team, and I've made it onto the training squad, and I've been training with them since then.
That's awesome.
It's a huge deal, like amazingly big deal for me. Yeah.
It's massive. I think it's a massive deal. The fact that you're breaking down that boundary, that they have that gender rule anyway, which is great, or non-rule, whichever way you want to look at it. But that you can actually kind of say you can directly attribute this probably strength, but also the confidence. Would you say?
Oh, 100%. Like if I hadn't been doing training here for a year, I would not have even considered trying out. Okay. And I did before it was announced. I came to Maddie and I said, look, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go for it. I don't care what happens at the end of it. It's just an experience to try. But can we get a training plan in place to prepare me for what's going to be? Because it's going to be a lot more physical, a lot more tougher, because you're going up against men essentially who are going to be a lot. They're a lot bigger and stronger most of the time.
And not necessarily going to take it easy on you.
No, and they don't. Oh God, they don't.
Okay. So you started from the powerlifting, our strength and the beginners and the strength and conditioning. What made you decide to give the strongwoman element a rattle?
At the same time as the men's tryouts were announced, powerlifting comp was announced, or a strongman comp was announced at the gym, and there was a novice category, and I had to decide, was I going to do the tryouts or was I going to do the competition? And I decided I was going to do the tryouts, but I was assured there would be more competitions coming up in the future, and it just so happened that the next competition that came up was Ireland Strongest Woman. And the reason I wanted to do a competition was because I'd seen you and the other women here training for it. It just looked like so much fun, and I was kind of getting a little bit bored of just coming in and squatting and deadlifting and benching every week, and I just wanted to try something different, and I did.
She wanted to get more bruises.
Yeah,
that's what she wanted, more bruises and tripping over shit and stuff like that. But anyway,
I needed it. I need help.
She was good at that anyway. So something really good happened then. So there was a novice category, wasn't it? We had
a novice category in the Irish Strongest Woman
and you decided you were going to enter the novice competition.
Signed up for it, was training away for it, and then you had said no one else had signed up for the opens, and I was like,
nobody had. It was just me and me.
So I was like, sure. I had a look at the weights, and there was just the one thing that I was kind of a bit nervous about was the 80 kilo sandbag, because I didn't really do a whole deal in sandbag training before that. And I said to you and Maddie, I was like, look, if I can lift and do a length with the 80 kilo sandbag, I will just throw myself into the opens just to do it. Yeah. And I did.
So just to bear in mind, right, so for her very first strong woman competition, she stepped up from the novices and she came up into the open weight category against me, where there were experienced open weight athletes that didn't come down for that competition. So that to me was seriously a bit mental.
Very crazy.
Very crazy.
Insane.
Very impressive. Emma Evans also came up into the category that for that competition. Where did you place?
Second out of 3, but second
still
for a first comp.
For the first comp.
Pretty crazy. Like there was a lot of things that went wrong, but a lot of things that clearly went right for it as well. Yeah. And it was just so much fun. Yeah. So gearing up for more.
And after that competition, I know that it also set you your challenges there for wanting to improve on a lot of things within strongwoman.
Oh yeah, like I failed the 90 kilo stone, the 100 kilo stone in the comp. I knew like the first 2 would be fine, and I was hoping to get the 90 kilo stone, but I just didn't get over the bar. So like a personal goal then after that was to get those 2 stones.
And what did you do 2 weeks ago?
100 kilo stone. Yeah. So it's all
For two. So it was able to get, it pushed you, it gave you that challenge.
Yeah.
What do you like most about training? Strong woman, powerlifting, the way we train?
For strong women specifically, it's the diversity of it. Like, there's so many different events that you can train for, and luckily we have so much equipment here that
you have a lot of equipment
to try loads of different events all the time. So like in training you'll have like just an event and I'm like, oh, I'm going to do a Husafel today or a yoke today, and it's nice to change that up. But here at the gym it's like the camaraderie between everybody. We do like team training sessions, and I know I can go in and I'll have like my teammates there with me, and we'll all be kind of doing similar weights and similar things, and we'll just push each other on. And I think that's kind of what helps achieve all those personal goals as well, because you've got backup behind you and people like
with a similar
cheering you on.
and a similar goal.
Like we all want the same things out of it.
Even if we are not in competition prep, we're there behind the people who are prepping for competition.
A few of us have been on a deload cycle for a while now, because it just hasn't many comps coming up that we're available to do. But even through that, like, we're still doing like heavy, like triples or heavy 5 weights, and we're pushing each other on really hard for that. And there's a little bit of kind of like friendly rivalry that goes into it. So like, oh, if she can do it, I can definitely do that as well. And it's just kind of, that pushes us on as well. And you kind of need that as well.
You do. Definitely. You need that to grow.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Was it? I think. I don't know if it was Louis Simmons or one of the lads anyway, was basically, if you want to get strong, you need to train with people stronger than you. Do you think that's well proven here?
Definitely proven here. Like, you can see it across the board that there's no big ego anywhere in the gym, but it's like as soon as someone peaks at a certain weight, everybody else is like running after that and chasing after it, just to kind of you keep each other moving on it. That's it.
Excellent. What is your favourite event?
Strong women. It would either be log, I love overhead log, or Atlas stones. Like,
she's actually nuts. Who the fuck likes log, right? This lump of steel in your face.
It was terrifying at the start, but I just enjoy doing it. I don't know what it is, just something I really enjoy.
No, I think it's something like that if it clicks, and I have to agree with you, stones, there's something very, very primitive about throwing lumps of stone. And I know that Kayla's actually done the natural stone as well. We have 3 natural stones in here, so we're going to work her up to she was doing the 40 kilo stone there for reps the last day. It's very different, isn't it?
It's so awkward, and it's not like a ball where you can lap it and you know the technique, and it's always the same repetition. Like, you have to angle it a certain way so you don't choke yourself or impale yourself on a sharp end of it. And then like when you're pressing it overhead, I mean, this is something
it's a big lump of stone, basically.
Smash you in the face.
It's gonna hurt if it lands on you.
So.
Excellent. Okay, what advice would you give to anyone, but women in particular, I suppose, because that's what we're very much gearing this towards. What advice would you give to anyone who was thinking or considering of coming into a strength sport, not just strong woman or powerlifting, but strength sport in general?
Any sport in general. Like, first off, you have to have an interest in it. I mean, if you're going into something, you must be dedicated and interested in it, or else it's just not going to work for you. So find the sport that you love and you want to keep going at, and then training. Like, say it's like a field sport like camogie or game football or even roller derby, those team trainings that you have are never enough. You always have to cross train. Like, if I was just doing 2 sessions a week down in Limerick, I'd never get anywhere. Like, I for the level I want to be at, like this, I have to cross train for it, and I advise everybody to get on to strength and conditioning training, because it makes a world of difference to everything you're doing. Even for strong women, like, we do a lot of conditioning training for that, and it makes a huge difference to event training that we do as well.
Exactly. I suppose with that as well, with what Kayla said with regards to, I suppose, cross training, in the sense of even from a strong woman perspective, it's always good to take yourself out of a comfort zone, or go to, visit other gyms, other areas that have equipment, because I suppose on the day you never know what you're actually going to get. You don't know what equipment you're going to get, you don't know what conditions you're going to get, so you need to actually be able to have that broader spectrum. So again, that cross-referencing. I suppose that's it.
That's
really.
It. Yeah.
Thank you so much for letting me interview you. And I hope that everyone out there has found it interesting and has probably taken something away from this. If people are interested in roller derby, where can they go?
There's a few teams around the country, so to just, I say, Google it or Facebook it. I know there's teams in Belfast. I think there's one in Derry. There's Dublin, Wicklow, Cork, two teams in Waterford, Limerick and Galway. So I say if you just search for them on Facebook, whatever, everybody is doing intakes kind of 2 to 3 times a year anyway. I know Limerick are currently recruiting now. So if you just find us on Facebook or any of the teams locally to you on Facebook and shoot them a message, they'll send you everything you need to know.
Excellent. So without that, that's great. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you liked the podcast, and I'm hoping to bring on a few more people to interview, not just me, over the next few weeks. And that's a wrap. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.